So it looked like Caitlyn Clark has found herself in a little bit of a pickle with Taylor Swift fans and Angel Reese, because Angel Reese has found herself in a hell heap of trouble, and it looked like Taylor Swift fans ain't showing no mercy.
Caitlyn Clark just lit up the NCAA tournament like a fireworks show on the 4th of July. She was dropping buckets, dishing dimes, and snagging boards like it was nobody's business. We're talking an insane 27.8 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 8.6 assists per game. No wonder she snagged that AP Player of the Year award, right?
Saying that since the start of the regular season, sales of WNBA merchandise are up over 500%. So impressive. Another thing that we've seen jump so much this season in the WNBA is merch sales. Fan gear sales over the first half of the season at the highest in league history. What kind of money these numbers are going to turn into? Like, this is how you grow the league.
But here's where things get wild. Out of nowhere, Angel Reese and Taylor Swift fans are in this crazy drama. And you know what started it all? An interview with Kayla Nicole. Suddenly, Swifties are all riled up and going after Reese.
Online, they is on a rampage with lighting up Angel Reese over that interview. Now, Caitlyn Nicole has been quiet up to this point. You really don't want to just go out there just saying stuff. You kind of want to remain silent. It's being reported that Taylor Swift fans side with Caitlyn Clark at the Angel Reese interviews.
It's like a Twitter war exploded overnight. You know what's crazy? The real reason why Swifties are suddenly Team Caitlyn. Let's break it down and see what's really going on behind all this drama. Trust me, it's not what you'd expect. While Swifties were picking sides, the real drama was unfolding on the hardwood.
Multiple Taylor Swift fan pages across social media has recirculated Caitlyn Clark tweet aftermath. Now, I must remind you guys, Caitlyn Nicole has been quiet for the last year and a half.
Picture this, a championship showdown, two stars colliding, and a moment that would echo from college courts to the pro leagues. How did a simple taunt turn into a rivalry for the ages? It all went down during the NCAA championship game. LSU and Iowa, two powerhouse teams, battling it out for the title, but it wasn't just about the scoreboard. In the final moments with LSU leading 102-85, Angel Reese made a move that set social media on fire. She pointed at her ring finger and mimicked Caitlyn Clark's previous gestures. Talk about adding fuel to the flames. You'd think this would have sparked a heated exchange between the two players, right?
I'm going to play a video right now of the former Fever president talking about what Caitlyn Clark tried to do for other players.
All right, Caitlyn Clark was very aware of the impact she was making around the WNBA. Let's say their gate's $150,000. All right, 17,000 show up. You're probably talking about $1 million. Caitlyn Clark was in the house at the Steelers-Colts. This was posted by Yahoo Sports. This is going nuts right now.
But here's where it gets interesting. Clark actually defended Reese's actions. She said, "I'm just lucky enough that I get to play this game and have emotion and wear it on my sleeves, and so does everyone else." Clark's response showed a level of maturity and understanding that caught many by surprise. But don't think for a second that this rivalry cooled off after the championship. Oh no, it's been heating up in the WNBA.
When you think about the assists, I've said this before, but...
So, Caitlyn Clark broke the all-time assist record yesterday.
The facilitation that Caitlyn Clark has, I think, is one of the more underrated skill sets, setting her teammates up for success, and that has boded well for the Indiana Fever.
In a recent game, Reese was called for a flagrant foul after a hard hit on Clark. The crowd went wild, social media exploded, and suddenly everyone was talking about Clark versus Reese all over again. Now, you might expect these two to be at each other's throats, right? But here's the kicker. They're actually pretty chill about the whole thing. After the flagrant foul incident, Clark downplayed it, saying it is what it is. She was trying to make a play on the ball and make the ball. It happens.
Caitlyn Clark is literally everything that everyone has asked for from a face of a league.
In the WNBA, because the numbers are in for the month of May, that certainly supports the case that Caitlyn Clark is the one that not only moved the needle, but possibly broke the needle off.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season.
No drama, no finger pointing, just two competitors acknowledging the intensity of the game. This rivalry isn't just about personal beef, it's bigger than that. It's about pushing each other to be better, raising the bar for women's basketball, and putting on a show for the fans.
Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 game.
Quote, the Fever set a single season home attendance record of 340,715 fans. Okay, rookie Caitlyn Clark was a big reason for the increased interest in the league, ESPN reported on Friday.
And we can be completely honest on that. Because if you want to take the actions of Caitlyn Clark,
these two aren't just playing for themselves, they're playing for the future of the sport.
When this happened, she was averaging close to 7 assists a game.
Well, Caitlyn Clark ain't going into hibernation. For anybody who thought that was the case, she's been seen publicly the last couple days.
She is the Michael Jordan. Like, I know you're not a major basketball
I know.
But she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball.
Out with Caitlyn Clark playing, $2.12 million on May 14th. 1.71 million on.
Think about it. When was the last time you saw a women's basketball rivalry generate this much buzz? Clark and Reese are doing something special here. They're not just competing, they're elevating the entire game. Every time they step on the court, people tune in, expecting fireworks.
I don't understand again why some trash talk against her is seen as a bad thing because she's as bad as anyone for that.
Indiana Fever games broke multiple viewership and attendance records, and Indiana led the WNBA in attendance. Fever president and COO Allison Barber revealed an incredible story.
And since it's off the record, here's all you need to know about Caitlyn Clark.
And you know what's even crazier? This rivalry is just getting started. We're watching the birth of a basketball legend in real time. Clark and Reese are writing a new chapter in the history of women's basketball, and we've got front row seats to the show.
Effect, right? So, in other words, this has changed, to some degree, changing the economics of the sport in a really remarkable way.
Let's just put them all as like on a list, squeaky clean reputation as far as like off the court. All she has done is publicly, anyway, try to uplift her teammates, uplift her opponents
that have come down on her throughout this year. Diamond DeShields, Kennedy Carter.
You think this rivalry is just about who's got the better jump shot? Think again. Clark and Reese are stirring up something much bigger than basketball. Their on-court antics are exposing a whole different game, one that's played out in the media, on social media, and in the minds of fans everywhere.
Caitlyn Clark said, we're making all this new revenue, and I would like the away team to benefit from that. And they have treated her like trash. It's unbelievable.
So Michael Jordan energized and became a role model for all the kids. Caitlyn's got that. She's brought new fans to it. The people at Nike told me that the thing that Caitlyn has done is also similar to what Tiger did.
Let's break it down. Both Clark and Reese have been bringing the heat on the court, showing off their skills and letting their emotions fly. But here's the kicker. People aren't reacting the same way to both of them. It's like they're watching two different games.
But she's even more than that in that she's 22. So she came right out of college and hit, very successful. So that's the heart of Caitlyn Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
The answer was no because of the CBA. I mean, it didn't hurt to try.
Year after hearing, obviously, she's out there trying to get players paid extra.
When Clark does her thing, pumping up the crowd and celebrating her wins, she's seen as passionate and competitive. But when Reese pulls the same moves, suddenly it's all about class and sportsmanship. What's up with that? This isn't just about a few hot takes on social media. We're talking about a spotlight on some serious double standards in sports. Reese called it out herself, saying, I don't fit in the box that you all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. Ouch, that's gotta sting. And it's not just fans stirring the pot.
We've got a couple of things. Number one, she's going viral just about 10 or 15 minutes ago. The treatment of these ungrateful, fuggy WNBA players.
So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their games.
But she tried to get these players actual game bonuses for the games.
Media figures are jumping in too, adding fuel to the fire. Holly Rowe, a sports analyst, pointed out that both players are getting hate online. But let's be real, the intensity and the reasons behind that hate, they're not exactly equal. Here's where it gets really interesting. Clark, instead of piling on, actually stood up for Reese. She said, "I'm just lucky enough that I get to play this game and have emotion and wear it on my sleeves, and so does everyone else."
She goes out of her way to talk positively about her teammates, her opponents, legends.
Okay, and that's Caitlyn Clark. Sorry, Angel Reese, it's not you. Sorry, Asia Wilson, it's not you. We've already talked about the media rights deal and what that's going to do. It's going to double to quadruple WNBA salaries. She recognized she was a valuable product, and she tried to do something about it.
Talk about sportsmanship, right? But this whole situation isn't just about these two players. It's shining a light on some big questions in women's sports. Why are some players held to different standards? How much does race play into how we judge athletes' behavior? And why are we still having these conversations in 2023? The Clark-REESE rivalry is doing something pretty amazing. It's not just entertaining fans, it's sparking important talks about fairness, recognition, and representation in sports. Every time they step on the court, they're not just playing for points. They're challenging how we think about women athletes, especially black women athletes. And you know what? That's exactly what women's sports needs right now. This controversy is pushing people to think harder about their biases, to question why they react differently to different players. It's uncomfortable, sure, but it's necessary. Think about it. When was the last time a women's basketball rivalry got this much attention? When did we last see so many people fired up about how female athletes are treated? Clark and Reese aren't just competing against each other. They're pushing the whole sport forward. And you think this drama is just about two players going at it on the court? Think again. The Clark-REESE rivalry is changing the game in ways you never expected. It's not just about who's scoring more points or grabbing more rebounds. This whole situation is pushing women's basketball into the spotlight like never before. Let's talk about how this rivalry is actually helping promote women's basketball. It's crazy, right? All this drama, and it's actually good for the sport. Caitlyn Clark herself said it best. People just love seeing great matchups, and they find new players to support. And you know what? She's absolutely right. This rivalry is getting people talking, tweeting, and tuning into women's basketball like never before. Now imagine if social media didn't exist. Would this rivalry be as big as it is? No way. Social media is like gasoline on this fire, amplifying every move, every comment, every gesture. It's not just about what happens on the court anymore. It's about the tweets, the Instagram posts, the TikTok videos. This drama is playing out in real time 24/7, and fans are eating it up. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about entertainment. This controversy is sparking some serious conversations about sportsmanship, how athletes express themselves, and equality in sports. Angel Reese put it out there. "I don't fit in the box that you all want me to be in. This is for the girls that look like me, that want to speak up on what they believe in." That's powerful stuff. It's not just about basketball anymore. It's about representation, about challenging expectations, about being true to yourself. And you know what's even crazier? Despite all the drama, both Clark and Reese are actually pushing women's basketball forward. They're not just competitors, they're role models. They're inspiring a whole new generation of players to embrace their competitive spirit, to be passionate, to be themselves on and off the court. Caitlyn Clark summed it up perfectly. "I think it's just the emotion and the passion that we play with. That's what makes it fun. We're competitors. That's the way the game should be." She's not just talking about herself and Reese. She's talking about the future of women's basketball. A future where players can be fierce, passionate, and unapologetically themselves. This rivalry isn't tearing women's basketball apart. It's bringing it together. It's getting people interested who might never have watched a game before. It's showing young girls that there's a place for them in sports, no matter how they look or how they express themselves. It's pushing the boundaries of what women's sports can be. And here's the thing, this is just the beginning. The Clark-REESE rivalry isn't going away anytime soon. As they move into their professional careers, this drama is going to keep evolving, keep growing, keep pushing women's basketball forward. We're watching history in the making, folks, and it's a whole lot more exciting than anyone could have predicted. Alright, let's talk about the real game changer. This Clark-REESE drama. It's not just about two players throwing shade, it's reshaping how we see women's sports. Think about it, when was the last time women's basketball got this much attention? This rivalry is doing something huge. It's pushing for equality in sports. It's making people question their biases. Why do we react differently to different players? Is it fair? These are the conversations we need to have. And here's the kicker. What if this drama is exactly what women's basketball needed? It's got people talking, watching, and caring about the sport. It's showing that women athletes can be fierce, passionate, and unapologetically themselves. Maybe, just maybe, this is how women's basketball finally gets the respect it deserves. Now that's a game changer.